Probably hear the beautiful sound of construction to the back. You hear that sound? Oh, that's music to my ears.
Oh.
I love that sound. When I hear that sound, it reminds me of money. In this case, it reminds me of lack of money because I'm paying for it.
That was President Trump today speaking about the newly started construction at the White House East Wing. A demolition is underway to make space for a large ballroom. CBS News has learned some sections of the East Wing, built in 1902 and 1942, are being torn down. That includes the First Lady's office, the Office of Legislative Affairs, and the White House Military Office. The administration announced plans for the new ballroom
such
in
a big
July.
building.
It will be 90,000 square feet and have room for 650 people. It's also
nice,
being paid
though. Oh
for
my
by
gosh.
private donors
Look
and
at the
President
windows.
Trump himself.
The windows
Douglas
are
Brinkman
great.
joins us now. He's a U.S. presidential historian and professor of history at Rice University. Thank you for being here. When you see that video, is something like this unprecedented?
Well, seeing a demolition derby on the East Wing of the White House.
Okay. Demolition derby, my guy. Have you ever been to a demolition derby? That involves cars and buses and vehicles of all sorts, actually. What you see here is merely demolition. You see, when you talk about the birds and the bees, you connect one building with the other, and therefore the original building has to have a connection point. They are merely making that connection point, and if you saw the rendering of that ballroom, I think it'll be an upgrade. Let's just keep going.
Is certainly unprecedented. Renovation, of course, is not. Most famously, Theodore Roosevelt, who dubbed it the White House and the East Wing in 1902. And then you have by the 1940s, Harry Truman and Bess Truman had to leave the White House for 4 years to get renovations done. Stayed in Blair House across the way. But those were because of, for example, of Truman, because of disrepair. What we're feeling now is this is about President Trump's gilded, a love of gold and, the Trump Tower in Mar-a-Lago. It doesn't feel like a historic renovation. It feels like a wrecking ball to build.
He's building. That's what I don't understand about someone like this. It's like he's building something new, and in 100 years from now, it will be as a quintessential part of the White House. Like he's acting like this is something that's like gonna be slapped on there. It just doesn't make any sense.
A larger and larger ballroom that was supposed to be about 600 people, and now it could be 900 people. And so it's sort of sad for a professional historian like myself to see those gaping.
Gosh, I cannot stand most historians. Like, they will hold up projects. They will hold up projects for like years because of some historical value. In like most cases, it means nothing. Obviously, this is the White House, but like the White House was built on. The White House was burnt down. When do you think they made the East Wing and the other wing and It's just ridiculous.
Images of our people's house, the White House, not only being renovated in such a haphazard way. I don't care if it's private funded or not, but
explain what you mean by haphazard, because if you want them to be out there with toothpicks, I mean, what are we talking here?
The American people weren't brought in, and more importantly, the National Capital Planning Commission wasn't properly brought in to do renovations of our great White House in a proper fashion.
So we mentioned that President Trump says that this is needed. The White House is in need of a grand ballroom. Where does the White House right now host big events?
Well, if you would walk in, what President Trump's objected to was that feeling of the canopy tent, and it could be colder, it could be rainy, and he wanted something more palatial, something that had a feel of he's visiting world leaders like Vladimir Putin, or he's going to Qatar, and he's impressed by all of that. He doesn't understand the fact of our frontier democracy, our humility, our law and order of our Constitution, that you ask the American public about the renovations and share that with us. Instead, we're in the middle of a government shutdown. Nobody's talking to each other. And you're seeing a kind of, Trump's gold vision.
It's like my guy hasn't driven around.
In a White House.
It's like he hasn't driven around the DC area. Have you seen some of the buildings that they have there? Like, you want to talk about DC architecture is phenomenal. Like, but those buildings are ginormous and
house that he is simply sitting there as the custodian of. It's not his home, it belongs to the American people. And you don't want to get it like we're doing it so much that a Democrat president gets in and they change it back, and then Trumpian comes in and they go back to gold, back and forth. It seems to me the dialogue with the American people was missing, and this seems to not have been properly vetted by Society of Architects or by the National Capital Planning Commission like it should have been.
All right, Douglas Brinkley, thank you.
Jeez, talk about an opinionated guy.